This one's a fascinating. This one just broke, an hour before the show started?
Yeah, if that.
Well, what do you think? You're a big fan of Matt Gaetz.
What do you mean? What do I think?
Why do I think
he resigned? Why do I think he?
Well,
chose
maybe
not
I should
to...
cover the story first, right? Go to the B1. This is actually Matt Gaetz's tweet. Came out this morning. I had excellent meetings with senators yesterday. I appreciate their thoughtful feedback and the incredible support of so many. While the momentum was strong, it is clear that my confirmation was unfairly becoming a distraction to the critical work of the Trump-Vance transition. There is no time to waste on a needlessly protracted Washington scuffle. Thus, I'll be withdrawing my name from consideration to serve as Attorney General. Trump's DOJ must be in place and ready on day one. I remain fully committed to see that Donald Trump is the most successful president in history. I will forever be honored that President Trump nominated me to lead the Department of Justice, and I'm certain he will save America. And this is from 11/24 this morning. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that there, Jesse?
The obvious answer is he doesn't have the votes, which we knew Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski were two senators who were openly going to oppose him. People are saying different things about John Thune. Matt Gaetz, I guess, what do I want to say? I would have rather he stuck with it and go through the confirmation process, even if it doesn't shape out, because you still need to force those conversations. You still need to force that confirmation hearing and put these senators on record, because now we won't ever have their vote to see how they would have voted in that situation. Matt Gaetz, he still was elected to Congress in the last term. Does that mean that he just goes back to Congress, even though he resigned for the remainder of his current term? He was elected to the next term. So I hope that he needs to weigh out the options, think about whatever's best for him.
Jesse, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah, he just won re-election.
I've been saying, like, wait a second, there's going to be a special election because he just resigned. But no, that's right. He does have an election certificate.
Right.
So all he put up, my calculus was off on this one. Boy, I appreciate you telling me that. I feel like a moron now for that.
No, I know. It's a detail I've seen a lot of people overseeing, because it's an awkward thing that, he resigned, but he did just win this most recent election.
Right.
So he is the congressman.
He is still the congressman,
I think it's District 1 of Florida.
Okay, so I posited two theories here. I put them on my Twitter. So first one is Trump helped him out by never letting ethics reports see light of day. It wasn't a serious appointment. A lot of people said, you know what, Trump, at the start of the deal, Trump is putting a appointment that would be so scrutinized that it makes the Hegseth and the Tulsi Gabbards of those,
Linda McMahon,
seem much more palpable, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, I guess you're playing tricks on us,
but
Trump. I don't know.
I don't know think if I agree. No. I think he wanted Matt Gaetz. It's just, if you don't have the votes, he probably didn't want to go through the entire process.
Okay. I'm gonna push back on that.
The votes.
I'm gonna push back on that. Let me give you number two, okay? Because I'm already second guessing this. Because I was thinking Gaetz is out of Congress, and that's a great point. God, I feel so dumb for not realizing that. Number two is Gaetz is in line to backfill Marco Rubio's spot. Because remember, Rubio's going to get appointed as Secretary of State, or going to get it confirmed. Mm-hmm. So that means DeSantis then gets to pick who he puts as the senator from Florida, right?
Yep.
The voters don't weigh in until the next election. And so my thought is Trump pulls the strings with DeSantis and goes, hey, we want Gaetz in that Senate spot. And then that gives Gaetz...
DeSantis doesn't have the guts to do that. DeSantis is he's weak, and he doesn't get along with Gaetz. There's a lot of bad blood there. And because Ron DeSantis certainly doesn't like having Matt Gaetz, who is pushing him towards liberty, who is pushing him to the conservative issues.
But if Gaetz is weak, if DeSantis is weak, then he'll fall prey to what Trump is doing.
I'm saying he wants a weaker Republican, not that he's weak.
I see.
I'm saying he wants someone who is more in line with him. I see a couple of these comments here. Napkin 8 says, I think he will run for governor. I think that's a very real possibility, too. I think that is actually what Matt Gaetz had his sights on more likely than being a U.S. senator. He had been thinking about running for governor. He made the announcement even at one point. Then Byron Donalds, of all people, had a little hissy fit and was saying that he wouldn't allow that to take place. So that would be a whole inside fight right there. And then Razzle Dazzle says, does Matt get his seat back after the resignation? I guess it would be up to DeSantis on who's going to get that seat for the remainder of the term.
No. Hold on. You're talking about U.S. congressional seat.
Right.
So, no, it would go... It actually just goes unfilled because it's already filled for the next section.
Right. Yeah, I guess there's not enough time to hold a special election for the remainder.
I feel so dumb for not thinking about this, but it really is a non-issue in that regard because now listen, Congress is actually still going out there, right? They're actually meeting the first couple weeks of December, and just I'm going to take my crystal ball here. Oh, okay, here we go. Oh my God, they're going to come up with some last-minute budget deal to screw us again. Big shocker. All right. But they are going to recess some point before Christmas, and they're going to make it as painful as possible to get all these guys to continue this deficit spending. All right. Who's not going to be part of that is Matt Gaetz, who resigned.
Yeah. And Razzle Dazzle says, would Gaetz go as governor? I just said that. And then DeSantis as senator. I mean, I guess theoretically Ron DeSantis could choose himself, and it wouldn't shock me because he's going to try to stay relevant. He's gearing up for his 2028 run. And
wouldn't you want to be a governor if you're running?
Well, I think he's term limited. So I don't think he can go for a third term there.
I think you're right.
And then Phil Can says, shut your filthy MAGA mouth, Jesse. Do not speak wicked against Ron DeSantis. But I'm telling you, Guantanamo Bay is definitely gearing up for his next presidential run. There's a reason he ran against Trump. He's not MAGA. So
all right. So here's another theory. And you know what? You got a real, I guess, more innocent theory on what's going on. That Trump really did want him, and he just didn't have the votes. And I guess that technically is possible. But the whole talk in Washington, D.C. lately, Jesse, is Trump is going to get what he wants. He's going to push through his agenda, and he's going to do recess appointments.
Right.
And so, to me, it just looks terrible that this happens today, that they're already withdrawing one of the most important, if not the most important appointment he's made. Because in many regards... what the thing that's been the biggest threat to Donald Trump is the Department of Justice. I mean, you could make the argument that defense as well, but Department of Justice is a really big deal. And it's been a week, and this guy's already is taking his name out because he can't convince a couple senators. So to me, it's like fishy. It's like, what was in this report? And then let's go, Dawson. This is the B2. This came out last night, I want to say. This is from Charlie Kirk. I haven't even listened to this yet. The House wasn't going to release the ethics report to the public. Go ahead and play this.
Mr. Chairman, do you guys vote to release this report?
Are you voting for the report?
He wants to go.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what he said. I mean, they basically said they're not going to release the ethics report, okay? Which I'm against. I'm just going to say, we're in a thread together, and someone's like, well, good to see Republicans have a backbone finally. I go, backbone? Like, I want transparency for Congress members, I mean, I can see both sides.
It's going to be a doctored report, where it's, so, I mean, I can see both sides. Would you want a disingenuous document out there because for transparency purposes to see what they did, but it's also going to be out there treated as fact. And the DOJ never pursued charges against Matt Gaetz because they didn't
pursue him. They decided not to.
They dropped them because they realized that the alleged victims were not credible people. So, that's how that shaked out. And let's see, Billy 22. How do Collins and Murkowski keep getting elected? Maine and Alaska have ranked choice voting. Gee, go figure. And that is a major problem. I mean, I'm not sure if Maine could get much better than Susan Collins just because it is what it is. But I mean, Alaska, they just about took out their ranked choice voting system. Both of them have some corrupt systems where it only benefits the uniparty. They pretend like ranked choice voting is for democracy. If that was the case, it would help out third parties, but it's not. They have a system that is only designed to help out the uniparty and make sure that the establishment and the so-called moderates win.
Well, and I know a little something about Alaska politics, and you can't apply Alaska politics to the rest of the country. It's so unique and different, not just because of ranked choice voting, but that's a big deal. Names are huge out in Alaska. You got to remember, Alaska is a new state. It's a new state, and it's not a populated state. In fact, if you know how Alaska works, it's one big population center, right? Anchorage, which has like 400,000 some people in that area. And so Murkowski's a name. It really is. It's just a big name out there. So that's how it happens. You get this power and prestige, but she's fallen well. I don't know. She's got to be in her 70s at this point, isn't she? She's old.
I'm not sure.
How old is she? Because when was the last time she got reelected? She might be.
Who you're saying, Lisa or
Lisa.
Susan?
Lisa
Yeah,
Murkowski.
Lisa Murkowski. Yeah, I'd say probably about 70.
Oh no,
maybe.
she's born in 57, so she's not 70 yet. What does that make her? 20 or 67?
Okay.
Okay. And let me see. When was her last election?
I can't remember.
2022.
Yeah, that's what I was
Blech.
going to say. 22. I think it
Stinks.
was. Right, and that was, I think, the first implementation of the ranked choice voting, and we'll see how it all ends up going. But I think that, she's done too much to where it's, I can't imagine she hangs on for too much longer. And the Alaska U.S. House seat just flipped to the Republican as well, so people are getting fed up with the Democrats out there.
And you know how she started, by the way. Her dad, who was a governor of Alaska. And once again, when you look at Alaska people,
she got appointed to the seat
she got
that her
appointed
dad
by her
was in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, God. But like Alaska is so new and so young that it literally is not that many generations ago were like the early settlers. You know the show Last Frontier? I love Alaska, by the way, in case you can't tell. That's Jules' family. Did you know that? Have you ever seen that show?
Don't think
It's
so.
all Jules' family. They fled Switzerland during World War II and homesteaded in the Kenai Peninsula outside of Homer, Alaska. In World War II, fleeing, the potential of Germany taking over all of Europe, right? And so they homesteaded in Alaska. I mean, literally, that's what's that? That's technically, I guess that's, how do I put this? I guess it could be 2 generations. I guess maybe it's 3 generations. It's goofy for me to say this because my grandpa was a World War II vet, but he'd been so young. So let's just say it's 3 generations ago, right? So Jewel is only 2 generations out from an early settler to Alaska, right? It's crazy. Think about Alaska. Anyhow, so Murkowski's a big name out there. But it sucks because it's like Alaska, of all states, that should be the one that's solidly on Trump's side. I don't know. I think there's more to it. I think maybe.
Well, she won a write-in campaign that one time. I can't remember when that was. It was probably the election before the 2022 one. So 2016.
Jesse, I think there's something to this ethics report. I think that's what sank it. And there was mounting pressure. Like literally, I was thinking they should release it.
It's more optics than I think there was anything real.
But why would you? It looked caving. Like Trump. This is a hit against Trump. His appointment for Attorney General just dropped out after a week. So are you saying that Trump's already losing to the mob? He's already losing to the mainstream media, the corporate media that's so up in arms about Gaetz?
Well, the senators are falling in line with it. Yeah, I mean, you can't fix everything if you got rhino senators who are refusing to approve of him.
So Trump is not tough enough to stand up against the senators? That was the whole point.
No, it's nothing about toughness. It's Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski are rhinos, and then whoever the other couple other ones that are there.
So make them vote against your appointment. And then make them feel the wrath.
I know, but you're asking that of Trump. It was Gaetz that resigned. Gaetz was the one who decided to resign.
Yeah, but why is he resigning then?
Because he doesn't have the votes.
But Trump is going to help him get the votes, right? Isn't it Trump? Doesn't it come down to Trump's toughness here?
No, there's rhinos.
By the way, we have no
this, Jake.
insider on this. We don't talk to these people, so we don't know. This is all speculation. I'm just saying this is fishy, in my opinion, and I don't like it, man. I was excited about Gaetz. I thought that was hilarious. Like a lot of these appointments are hilarious in the sense that the federal government is so far gone that you really got to go outside the box and got to have people like Matt Gaetz. And then we're all fans of it. And then just like that, he's gone. And I don't think, the idea that this happens in a vacuum, is ridiculous. It has to be discussed with Trump because he is his appointment. But the other thing I didn't think of before, and this is a fair point, I'm glad you brought it up, is that he is going to be the congressman from that district. Let's move on to the third.